What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to mentalrep for another video. If you haven't already, please hit the like and subscribe button because it'll really help out the channel. In today's video, I want to talk about a little bit more about video games and talk about the state of video games, or what I like to call the state of video simulations and virtual reality. If you haven't saw already, I did a video talking about, it's called The Truth About Call of Duty, even virtual reality and all this stuff. There's a Bible verse that says, as a man thinketh, so is he. Now, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. Also, be not deceived, God is not mocked. Whatsoever a man sow, that shall he also reap. I ask people, when people are playing video games, what are they sowing? What are they going to reap from? And so oftentimes, the people, every time I speak against video games, and I used to play video games like I used to. When I found the truth of God, or it found me really, I put away childish things and moved on to become a man. And so I want to talk about, virtual reality, because I found it interesting that they made an Assassin's Creed game for the VR, and that came out after I did that video talking about virtual reality and Call of Duty. I said something in the video notice how it's called virtual reality. It's not called virtual fantasy, it's called virtual reality. And a lot of the kickback that I get about video games is that people say, oh, it's not real, but yet they call it virtual reality, but it's not real. If it's not real, if it's not affecting your very real brain, your brain is a part of this reality and what you feed it. It's like your stomach. Your stomach is very real. What the food that you eat is very real. Just because you don't see it go down in your stomach, you feel it going in. Just because you don't necessarily see it going into your brain, the images going into your brain and affecting your brain and your thinking process, don't mean it's not taking effect. And they know this stuff takes effect, and this is why they have MRI scanners. They can see exactly what's going on in your brain and the stimulus, what happens when you stimulate it off of killing, which is a very interesting thing. Why don't they ever just take it, I wouldn't say MRI, but do a brain scan on somebody while they're playing video games? Has anybody ever thought of that? I don't think they ever thought of that. The truth of the matter is, people get a high off of playing violent video games. They get a dopamine hit playing Call of Duty, playing Mortal Kombat, playing Assassin's Creed, playing, all these violent video games. They get a dopamine hit, and they just need more and more and more. Just look at Mortal Kombat back when it first started, and look at where it's at now. Mortal Kombat, back then, it was gruesome. It was a gruesome game. Did it look like pixels? Yeah, but back then to us, it looked more real than the next game that was just straight pixelated. And look where it's at now. It's even more gruesome than the very, 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 very first, only because the people wanted more of it. And so I go on to say in this video how people should beware of virtual reality. And the reason why I say beware of it is because you're not only training your mind is already trained. People have been practicing in video simulations of killing, of playing Mortal Kombat. They're used to it now. Now they want to train your body to kill. In virtual reality, you are now going to start to train your body. I used to play football, and really my channel is called mentalrep, and I got my channel, I believe either one of my coaches in high school or one of my coaches in college. I believe it was in high school. I had a coach by the name of Chris Arthur. When I got hurt, I used to go on the sideline and he used to say, come over here on the sideline and take mental reps or mental notes. Oftentimes we study film, we go into the classroom, we take notes, and when we study films of our opponent, we're taking mental reps. And with those mental repetitions, we begin to learn and we begin to examine. We take everything that we learn and we execute successfully in the game alongside with the physical training that we go through. And the physical training that we go through repetition, through constant repetition, we're constantly training our body to a point where even when we get tired, we have a natural reaction. I used to play defensive tackle. I was also a nose tackle. So through repetition, even when we're tired, we're able to execute. We're able to perform because we trained our bodies so much. Well, that's what VR is supposed to be. That's what the purpose of VR for. Is to train your body, and people already play video games hours and hours and hours on end. And the problem with that is when people escape off of virtual reality for hours and hours, even days on end, they're not going to want to come out of it to a point where they're not going to be able to distinguish between real reality and fake reality. or I should say real reality and virtual reality, because they train their mind to a point, they seared their conscience. And so the things that people will have trained themselves to do in virtual reality, they're going to try to fulfill it in real reality. That is why it's called virtual. They already got it in your mind that it's reality, virtual reality. If they wanted to distinguish between the fake and the real, they will call it virtual fantasy. They do not call it virtual fantasy. They call it virtual reality for a reason. It's in your mind that it's reality. And so now they got games like Assassin's Creed. And I've seen it, it looks like crap. Of course it's gonna look like crap, because they need to sow that seed like, oh, it looks fake. But when the people start to push more real, we need the killing to be more real. We need to be more real. Then they're gonna start making the games to be more realistic. And the whole point of it is for it to come out of virtual reality into real reality. The Bible says that it's going to be like the days of Noah. In the days of Noah, there was much bloodshed. Much blood was spilled in the days of Noah. If anybody knows, or anybody need to go back in Genesis 6, much blood was shed. The seed of the fallen started eating people. And this was the whole point of video games or virtual reality, training your mind, getting your mind used to blood, getting your mind used to bloodshed, getting your mind used to killing, getting your mind used to, people are already, like, they agree with it in their minds. Because if you didn't agree with killing, nobody would be playing murderous video games. If you didn't agree with it, nobody would be playing it. Nobody would be promoting it. Nobody would be buying it. And I'm not even saying, like, the Bible talks about how there's a time to kill. My thing is, like, as far as Call of Duty is concerned, I don't have a problem with Call of Duty. My issue with Call of Duty is when they take a video simulation, people actually start to enjoy it. They start to enjoy it instead of seeing it as like a video simulation about war, because there's nothing fun about war. There's nothing funny about war. There's nothing fun about taking a life. There's nothing fun about it. But yet we find enjoyment out of this stuff. We find enjoyment and we say we want more. And every year they give you more. And yet people find something to complain about every year. They find something to complain about. They're not satisfied. They're not satisfied with the mechanics because it's not real enough. It's not real enough. Anywho, that's so funny how people just say they want it to be real. And there's videos of people making content looking at the realism of the game, whatever. Like, people look for this stuff to be real. They want it to be real. If you didn't seek for realism, people seek for realism in these games to see how real it looks. They wouldn't be trying to find it. They wouldn't be seeking realism. So yeah. So when people begin to get bored, or when people's conscience begin to be seared from playing virtual reality, not being able to distinguish between real reality and fake reality, just beware, people, because these people are going to want to come out from their game and they're going to want to fulfill it in reality. Whether they know it, whether they are aware, or whether they are deceived, it's just going to be like the days of Noah. That's all I have for the video. Peace and God bless to everyone. I'll see you all in the next video.